Hello, everybody watching live on YouTube and live on twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live. Guys, these two men here, and they are manly men. They have really, really helped me out, me and Jeff out with the YouTube. We've beefed up YouTube. They put a lot of nice clips on. We're doing a lot of live stuff. Guys, I never know how I'm supposed to promote YouTube. Like, I know my Twitch address. How do I send them the YouTube? What do I say?
Oh, just you can search Vince Russo, the brand on there, but let me look up the actual.
Is it Jeff says it's Vince Russo Live, but then I see Pyro and Ballyhoo. I never know what to say.
Yeah, I have a previous, like before I started the official Stevie Richards channel, was named something else. So the URL is it can't be changed without starting the channel over again. So I just say search Stevie Richards on YouTube and it comes up with the channel.
What do I say?
It is Pyro and Ballyhoo. It is Pyro and Ballyhoo, but just say search Vince Russo channel on YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell so you can be notified of all the latest clips from the Russo brand. That's all you got to do, man. They know it. If you're listening to this and you don't know how to use YouTube, ring the bell and Tommy will come back there and hit you in the head with a tack hammer because you are you know the rest.
Hey, Stevie, I got to tell you something else too, bro. I don't think you realize this, Stevie. I may be smartening you up about something about RodeCaster.
Okay, I'm ready.
Stevie, do you know when you fill the banks with the clips? Okay, bro, when you fill a bank, it you could keep adding them.
Correct.
Oh, I thought I just had like 2 banks.
Well, I'm going to, I know what I told you too, is you can actually categorize those through the app on the computer as separate podcasts. So you can have one for castrating the marks, one for Raw Smack. You have a whole sound bank for each show dedicated to that specific show. Here's another thing that'll blow your mind. You can actually have the thing when you record directly to the console. You know, when we did that, when you hit record on the screen.
Yep.
The new 2.1 update has something called overdub. So what you can do is you can play that clip once again. You'll have one soon too, Ben. I'm working on it.
Ben is so
RodeCaster Pro is made and designed in Utah as well.
Yeah, I've been so jealous of the RodeCaster talk. What me and you have going on in Utah.
I even knew what you guys were talking about. All this stuff, man. And
Stevie, Utah kayfabe.
Not only does he have multiple banks, he's got Sasha Banks. He's got all the banks over there. I don't know, man.
Every time you have to put the glasses on.
Must be nice to be over.
I kept telling my son, you got to help me with sound clips because I got to fill up the banks. But every time I fill up the bank, then there's another bank. I thought I'd
categorize them by shows. You're going to get lost in the...
This guy's Rothschild over here.
Oh, my God. All right, in a minute. Let's talk. We got a lot to talk about, man. Okay. I got to tell you guys something. 2 things have happened that we want to discuss. We're going to discuss the Prichard, Hamin, creative WWE situation, late breaking news. We're going to discuss the Vince Russo going to Impact situation.
Oh boy.
Bro, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk about these 2 things. We're going to talk about these things. I'm going to talk about how these 2 instances and circumstances are everything that's wrong and effed up about professional wrestling. So I'm going to let you guys pick your poison. What topic do you want to talk about first?
Let's let them wait for the Deuce talk. Let's go talk about Impact because these online reporters got to get checked. I mean, we do castrating the marks or whatever, but like to tune over and see these guys with 6,000 followers and saying we've reached out to all the Impact talent and we're just getting stonewalled, but we know he's working for them. You dumb bastards! I'm right here. You're obviously not a reporter. Stevie and I talk to him every day, multiple times a day. Stevie, how many times did they reach out to you to get a comment on anything?
Only 2 people that I know as friends that said it would not come back to you because no one tells one of their best friends and no one tells one of their best friends. My answer to it was legitimately like, what are you talking about? Because I'm not on Twitter. I don't go on social media all day and night. And Vince is one of my closest friends. If I knew so, I would say, Vince, what's going on? Or, hey, if this is true, congratulations. I don't care about that stuff.
But that's from people inside. Those are from wrestlers inside the biz. Those aren't reporters reaching out to Stevie. You know how many reporters or pundits are really just marked jackasses? I don't care if you're in Glasgow, Scotland, Ireland, or Ohio. If you aren't checking with the people who are in 1 degree of separation and you're calling yourself a reporter because you knew somebody who worked Impact and you're spreading rumors and you can't just step to me, you suck. You're nothing more than a mark, and you should have no following. And anybody who follows you is a fool too, because you have zero credibility. You've never been in the biz. And there's a whole generation of guys who are like, I was in the biz who ran a soundboard at an indie show. There's 1,000 of those guys who think they're now plugged into the biz because they got in the locker room one time. But the truth is they don't know fuck all. And that's what 90% of these reporters who keep putting that shit out is, because you didn't even step to the 2 co-hosts who talk to him every day, or Jeff Lane or any of his other co-hosts. So you're really not a reporter. You don't do any due diligence to try and get a comment at all.
Well, the thing that the breakdown about that statement, read it again. What was put up on social media?
I got to get it out here. 1 second. You guys.
Well, you said they tried to reach out to, I'm paraphrasing it or maybe quoting correctly. They said they reached out to multiple Impact talent, but they were stonewalled, essentially not given an answer either way.
Yeah.
But they know he's working for Impact.
They know it. They just know it.
Well, what's your evidence? And also, where did you get the fact of you don't have any facts or any claims or any comments or any press releases or any denials or acceptance of your claim?
You know what? Somebody on Twitch, SJ Dub, says the report basically said they deny it, so it must be true.
Yeah.
Guys, this is what me, Ben, Stevie, Jeff castrating the marks.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
Speaking to the side, Vince, your audio is getting, I'm sorry, it'd be a snot. I don't even
really
address my, I cut off your great rant.
Okay.
No. You're speaking into the side of it, so you have to raise it up a little bit more. There you go.
Stevie. Good.
Tuck your chin. Yeah. It sucks to even put this guy's Twitter over, man, at SODUTW, who's got whatever following. I've sat on this for long enough. Likewise, circa 2014 et al. Everyone inside pro wrestling strongly believes Russo's back with Impact as a consultant and has been since March. Anyone inquiring has been met with stonewalling, and that has been associated with all prior times. And then follows on, Russo was going to appear at the WrestleMania TNA show. The current Impact creative is definitely clever and good, but not lack the spark to take business to another level. I personally point to the channel they are on. I mean, that's down the road. But dude, you've done no due diligence, and you, because you have a couple contacts. This
is the problem that we talk about all the time. And guys, we always talk about the bubble, and then we talk about the real world. So let's make the comparisons between the bubble and the real world. Bro, there are journalists out there. There are reporters out there. Bro, there are people out there. Let's face it, bro. There are reporters working for, big media conglomerates that are out there criticizing Donald Trump every single day. Okay, bro? But here's what I got to say about those people. They still approach Donald Trump. They still ask Donald Trump questions. Even if it turns into a conflict, they don't shy away from asking Donald Trump questions. Okay, bro, no matter how difficult they know that's going to be, because they were critical of the man, they still step up to the plate when they need to have a question answered. The problem with these freaking guys is, bro, because first of all, guys, nobody contacted me. Nobody through DM, through email, through anything. Nobody contacted me. Think about it for a second, guys. These asswipes have burnt the bridge so badly with me that they're scared to death to even reach out and ask me. And bro, and people will turn around and say, well, Vince, you were consulting for TNA before, and you denied it. Yeah, no, bro, nobody asked me before. Nobody called me the last time to ask me if I was working for TNA. So the fact of the matter is these guys talk so much shit about me that when there's something in question, they can't even try to contact me because they're scared to death of all the shit that they've spread around me. So what do, bro? They put shit out there that's absolutely frivolous. There's no truth to it whatsoever. Bro, Scott Demore sent me a DM before the coronavirus, and he gave me an invitation to the TNA show. That's my extent of communication with Impact freaking Wrestling. And Ben, Stevie, not one of these guys have even attempted to get a comment from me.
There's two different ways to look at this. The first one is negative. The first one could be a positive. The negative connotation of this could be that people are just looking to cancel anything. And the easy thing to cancel in pro wrestling is a Vince Russo job or a Vince Russo project or podcast on podcast. You get what I'm going at, like planting the seeds of, if Russo's at Impact, we're going to, just in case, we're going to go to Impact and we're going to complain to get him fired from a job that we don't even know if he has or not. The positive thing is that wrestling is so compartmentalized and messed up and no communication. You may get a check from Impact because they're like, oh my God, Vince Rose's been working for us for 6 months. We need to send him some checks.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to sit here and let you guys F it up for us. If we started texting Josh Matthews and saying, hey man, I was just waiting for that first check to clear. Who knows? Maybe it might start rolling in, dude. Maybe we do have jobs and we don't even know it yet. Like that. Maybe that's the Stooge Report and the ribs on us. You guys are that plugged in that you know more about our business than we do. And you also know that if you're looking away from the referee, that means it's a false finish, and you know all the stuff. So there's so much we can learn from you about this business that we appreciate all the plugs. I mean, just complete.
So when I go back, I mean, if I go back, then they'll think Russo hired me.
When you go back, guys, this is what we talk about all the time, bro. I'm reading all this shit, and not one of these guys, because like I said, bro, they've buried me for 20 years. Okay. And they know that they know they've buried me over freaking bullshit because they can't stomach the fact that sports entertainment was successful. They can't stomach the fact, so they bury everything I do. They've been doing it for 20 years, so something like this happens, nobody has the balls to contact me. And let me tell you what we're going to see next, and here's the segue. Wait till you start seeing now. I'm going to tell you guys right now, wait till you now start seeing Meltzer bury the Raw product. Because for as bad as Raw has been, Meltzer has been walking on eggshells because it's his boy, Paul Heyman. What was that?
I have no idea.
Oh, Ben's fooling around with the RodeCaster.
That was you. Sorry, I brought up the YouTube. Yeah, I'm looking for the Nia Jax clip. Go ahead.
He has been walking on eggshells, not saying anything negative about Raw because Heyman's one of Meltzer's stooges, and you guys will see that now because for as much that Meltzer puts over AEW because he's on their payroll, so he's not a journalist, he's on their payroll. Now watch him start burying Raw because Heyman is no longer tied to the show. That's how these guys are, bro. It's a freaking agenda, and that's what we just try to tell you here on a weekly basis.
Do you want to talk the other conspiracy that we talked off camera last night? I'm not afraid to get somebody's ass if need be.
Go, bro.
Whatever has gone down with the Sonny Ono stuff, and you cooled off after having a hot weekend and you approached it absolutely like a pro, like a man should, and put out a message that should have given it closure, how it should have been set up that way. So I commend you on that alone, just to get through that stuff and really see what the real, message you needed to see for yourself was. That was very impressive. But whatever's going on with that, and this is the conspiracy to me, Bischoff got bumped off. We said this, and you want to talk some shit? I don't know if this is lost on you guys. Do you know what today is, or actually
A 1-year anniversary of Fox.
1-year anniversary of us
Oh,
going?
wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
To 1 day past it. This show is the day we recorded after the meeting. This is 1 day past that, where we warned them of everything, and that Hamin and him were going to be a bump off guy. And they brought Bischoff in to pass the buck, and he didn't, turning your cell phone off at 7. Meanwhile, Deuce is just waiting in the wings to do whatever, wipe Vince's ass for him when he's decrepit. I'll do it. And then now Hamin, with the failing ratings, and how much can, I'm sure, he do with USA Network until he's the scapegoat. And and now here, and then there was one, as you tweeted last night, but Bischoff not welcome at AEW, really done with WWE. Impact probably not, can't afford it, no reason to, been down that road, no reason to. So what's he gonna do?
And not only that, Ben, let's also point out, had his little 83 weeks with Conrad dumped his following like a hot potato as soon as Vince called. Well, screw that, bro. And now he went crawling back to his fan base. Bro, bullshit, guys. As soon as there was a better offer on the table, he ran to Vince McMahon. That turned into 83 days. And what did he do, bro? He came back to you, and he came back to his fan base. And that's what the three of us say, like, we will never do. We don't freaking sell out. We know where our bread is buttered, and I only hope that they see through this, Ben.
And now he's picking the bones of 20 years ago. It's almost sad that it exposes how desperate he really may be at this time. And if Sonny Ono's his boy, and they're trying to do setup, best not be, because if it is, they're getting wet up. I'll tell you that right now. It's an easy work. You can't work workers, dude. Like, we see this shit 100 miles and running away. They tip their hand way too much for him to come out with an 18-minute clip yesterday of, it was the worst thing I ever had to do, work with Russo, and then I juiced the deal because I knew WCW was done, but I was still going to get paid anyway. And you don't continue that story how you got with your buddy in the Wonder Years and sunk $250 million into failed reality shows. And now that's why you're back on the breadcrumb trail, looking for any little scrap from the lowest of the low in the wrestling community to do buzz, 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 and send some shit this way. We're so far above that and beyond that scope of like trying to play that game. We're at 10,000 feet. You're down in the weeds with that ship is. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I want to say you got some super chats in here, Vince. And I see Stephen Taylor with £1. And then I wish I could lose £1 on
nice.
Heavier. It's the OA Hitman with $2. So thank you to the super chats.
Yeah. Stevie, I swear to God, he is the funny thing. And me and Matt Conway, the running gag, this was the running gag with the with those in the bubble. Guys, here's the problem. I'm going to tell you guys right now, and this is why I was different from these freaking guys. Stevie, everybody wants the book. We want the book. Everybody wants. That's what me and Conway used to kid around all the time. We used to call it the book. They all want the book. Everybody wants the book. Bro, here's the problem. Here's the problem with the bubble and the way I handle the situation. Yeah, see, Ben has the book. Guys, everybody wants the book, but here's what they don't want. They don't want the responsibility that goes with the book. So like when they have the book and the creative and the show shits the bed, what does it become? Here's what it becomes. Bro, it's Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is calling the shots. I got to get Vince to approve everything. It's Vince McMahon. Bro, come on. Whether that's true or not, I've heard Meltzer say it in the defense of Paul Heyman, which means that Paul is saying it, so it's Vince's fault, Vince's fault, Vince's fault. Guys, let me tell you a couple of things about when I had the book, okay? First of all, when I had the book with Vince, here's the difference, bro. If ratings didn't increase, I expected to be fired. There were no excuses, bro. He hired me to help bring ratings up. If I didn't bring the ratings up, I expected to be fired. I wasn't delivering. I wasn't doing my job. Guys, when I went to TNA, okay, and I was writing the show with Conway, and Dixie got her bloomers worked off of her courtesy of Prichard and freaking Bischoff. The job that they did on Dixie was embarrassing, bro. The money they took that woman for. But the fact of the matter is, bro, I was writing with Conway. We were doing all the work. And all of a sudden, bro, I see Prichard and freaking Eric. I'm sending the shows to them and getting approval, much like Hamin was doing with Vince. Okay, bro, they were sending down their notes on a power play trip. Their notes sucked. Their notes made the show worse. Their notes did not make the show better. Ben, what did I do? What did I do? I effing left. I did not say, oh, bro, this show sucks because of the input from Prichard and Bischoff and I can't get things. No, bro, that's not what I did. I freaking left. I freaking left because I could not, I could not be successful in that environment. And you know what, bro?
Let's tell the truth. You left because you're racist against shark boys, and like that's why you can't be around people that are half shark and half.
And I can't be around people that are from Minnesota or Houston either.
That's it. I mean,
on my list,
we draw the line at hybrid human sharks. Like, I'm sorry, we're just not going to give up another job to a half human, half shark.
I think the new thing we need to do is instead of thanking people like Ben just did for the $10 super sticker from RodeCaster, spelled BRAWD, like Vince says it.
That's what I'm getting. I'm not getting a RodeCaster.
But a new thing is we don't say thanks when we thank people for bits and super chats. We say THX.
Yeah, that's it. THX.
THX.
THX, you guys.
But guys, I mean, that's why I don't want to freaking hear it, bro. Because if that's the fight that Paul Heyman was in, and he was never going to win that fight, bro, you're sitting there like a sitting duck. I was in that same spot with Prichard and Bischoff, and I said, bro, F this. Everybody thinks I'm writing the show. My name is on this show, and these guys are going to send down their stupid effing comments from the throne. I left. I was done, bro. That's how I handled it. But it's Stevie, it's business in the bubble as usual, bro.
Here's the thing, though. I know Paul. I've worked with Paul. Paul was a big part of creatively what made my name in the business. So let's not mix words. Paul is a genius creatively.
Right.
He's created a lot of stars that still today can get bookings, make money. Part of the reason why I'm here doing the shows with you guys. If anybody was ever mad at Paul, or anybody ever wondered, is karma ever going to come back on Paul? I'm telling you, in the position he's been in under Vince as the head writer of Raw, to have to listen to Vince tear maybe some really good ideas that he presented and turned them to shit or not used them at all. That is more punishment for Paul than anything, because no matter how much you said it, the exact quote, no matter if you're making $1 million, if you're not allowed to have that creative outlet, and Paul has had that outlet. So when you take it away from him,
right.
How much torture should that be? So he might have voluntarily just said, Bruce might not even have knocked him out, but maybe helped him along the way. But Paul said, this is enough. I can just be a talent. They won't fire me because of Brock, and I'm good to go. I don't need this stress anymore.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Yeah, because Stevie, that happened to me. They tried to take that creativity away from me at TNA. So like I know the feeling. And bro, Paul, come on, Paul's got enough money. It wasn't a money issue, but bro, when they take that from you and you're a creative person, bro, you're done, man. You're just done. But
I think about the meeting that went down as we predicted this a year ago to the Fox execs openly, and they asked us to write a proposal for consultancy there, and we predicted this almost to the T as Rome Burns, and then they aced out Bischoff, and now Heyman's dropped, and then there was one, and now within one meeting they consolidated the entire creative team into one, and they're going to do both shows. Hamin's just relegated to his stereotypical Brock Lesnar promo from here on out. And that's where we are. And now it's Vince and Bruce in a full-time bromance relationship. And that's all it is. Now, what happens when that goes awry? And then
let's ask this question too. Has were Jacob Allman and whoever the president of the USA Network, were they both consulted before this move was made? Because now you have somebody that on the Fox side, you're saying, well, Bruce was dedicated to 100% Fox, and then Paul was 100% dedicated to USA. This is a major shift in two deals that are almost $1 billion each, from what I know.
Great point.
You would want to be consulted to some extent in between selfies in the control room and see what I did there, Ben. But wouldn't you want to be considered if we made a major change to the show, or we would start uploading the new show to YouTube or anything on a much smaller scale? Wouldn't you, as the owner of the brand, want to know, hey, it's cool, guys, just let me know so I don't look, so he doesn't answer a call from somebody going, what's this guy got fired? What happened? We like this guy. And you're like, completely clueless.
I'm actually getting a stooge report from my 17th cousin. It was actually the House of Sods called this whole thing. Hamin out, no more Zionism, Bruce all the way. They're all about Bruce till the end of time. Apparently the House of Sod is backing Bruce in a coup d'etat.
Yeah, bro, it's I swear to God, like there used to be an old saying that, you know, when the world ends, you know, when the world comes to an end, the only thing that are going to be left are cockroaches and Cher. Bro, I swear to God, that's Bruce Prichard. I mean, Stevie, like, this guy's been fired twice. Bro, Stephanie got rid of him. I mean, Vince's daughter, you would think that's the nail in the coffin. Nope. Dude shows up again. And bro, like Ben said, here he is back in the saddle in Vince's office, sitting on Vince's knee, bro. And bro, can I tell everybody, look, guys, here's the bottom line. You are going to get the same exact product as long as Bruce Prichard is there, bro. This is a guy, bro, that has been doing the same exact product for the last 20, 30 years. Mantar, the Goon, everybody's a coward in promos, the baby faces and the heels. Bro, you are going to get the same exact shit product, unfortunately, bro, until he is no longer there. And who knows when that may be. But my God, bro, this guy, how many lives? How does he, Stevie, like, you've been around him, like, Ben, how does he do it? Like, bro, I'm going to tell you right now. He doesn't have a track record to say, hey, wait a minute, bro, but I've done, what is he showing that says, I've done this? How is he? What's he doing?
He got me a horse. God damn it. Did you ever get me a horse?
I'm going to tell you right now, and this is a friendly warning to Bruce. Be careful, because there's somebody there that's an even bigger cockroach than you, a bigger survivor who survived everything from day one. And he will take your spot. Mark Carano. Be very careful, Mark Carano. He's survived all the cuts. He's worked his way up to talent relations from the spot that you know, the kid Adam, who's the big Weird Al fan with the little mustache, he would just do the appearance stuff. That's what Carano was doing, just basically handlers for the boys, and now he's running talent relations. So Mark Carano is on a trajectory to basically own WWE by 2024. That's my call. Hot take.
I'm getting a pool together to invest in dog food if anybody wants to do that, because there's going to be a lot more dog food spots on Raw now. And I'm trying to figure out the basis of what slime is, but you figure everyone's going to get slimed every other segment. So
is there a stock for slime, or is there an IPO on slime?
I'm trying to find what the base products are, because they're going to need a lot of it, I'm sure.
Well, bro, SJ Dub says that Strowman will now become a Mantar among men.
Oh,
that could be money.
Write that down. God damn it, man.
Braun better hope they're not going through the warehouse and it's anywhere near the Nexus armbands.
What is it at the end of the day with Vince? Is it that, bro, listen, bro, I honestly, I don't even know that, bro, if Bruce was asked to choose, I'm telling you, between Vince and his family, yes, he'd probably choose his family, but it would be a very difficult decision. But what is it been? Does Vince see this loyalty in him that, I mean, bro, I know he's got the loyalty with Kevin Dunn. Kevin's been there forever. Is it the loyalty thing supersedes being successful?
Your feet don't rub themselves in the pool house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have somebody there all the time, consigliere. Now it's 2020. The road is wide open for them. No one will judge when they come out of the closet together, and they finally found the love of a lifetime, a love that'll last the whole night through. And that'll be good. I mean, that's what maybe the Billy and Chuck thing was a cry for help for them. Like that, them wanting to live it out through that. Who knows? But I can't believe pushing away your kids, that the legacy, to not bringing up the grandchildren, to now grooming Triple H, a guy who's really paid his dues and can tell people what to do, and they'll jump to. All of them are pushed out, and there's only 2 left in the inner circle. And then Ace knocking on the door, making sure everybody's got waters and stuff.
God. There's 8 skateboards in the warehouse. But dude, this is the thing too. Hunter has that Paul Heyman-like quality with those NXT kids. He motivates them, and I think he genuinely cares about them in a wrestling environment. I mean, as much as you can. But why would you demote Hunter before making these moves over the past couple of years? Are you afraid that Hunter's going to do a better job or turn the company around or get the ratings up? Is it more of a thing that it's always been? They'd rather get the credit than actually make the product better.
It's going along to get along. I mean, otherwise there'd be a complete halt and revamp of what it is with where ratings are. Like, see on the sheets, Raw ratings up this week. Yeah, the first hour, the end was 1.595. That's why Heyman's gone. Somebody has to fall on that sword and be like, we tried this. They said this guy was a genius and it just wasn't working out. So we're going to go another way. Well, what is that way? More AC/DC, Highway to Hell as we go into SummerSlam and, whatever other ridiculous thing that we can take back from the 90s, like In Your House. How many one-trick ponies you got left? How many cards you got to play to go back and do that kind of stuff? Not many more, because they're old and out of touch and they don't know how to make new superstars. And the guys that they have could be stars, like a Ricochet or an Aleister Black. They pimp them out to sell for AEW in a war instead of making the one guy the next Undertaker and the other guy the next Rob Van Dam. They just are so quick to be stupid, and you only get one chance to make a first impression, and they ruin their own investments of people that they've spent a lot of time and money on.
Yeah. Guys, I swear, man, back in the day when it was, man, there was a time, man, when it was just me and Vince. It was just the two of us, bro. And bro, even I said, and nobody would have ever done this, bro, because they're so freaking paranoid. Bruce would never do this in a million years. I said, Vince, I need help. I wasn't worried about, somebody coming in and taking my job, because they would have had to do a better job than me. And I knew that wasn't going to happen. But bro, what happened at that point, Stevie, was Vince went to Bonnie Hammer and the USA Network. Why? Because Bonnie has God knows how many writers at her fingertips. So he went to USA, and Bonnie said, I know this guy, Ed Ferrara. He worked on, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Weird Science. I've done a lot of work with Ed. Bro, Ed comes to a television show. Vince puts Ed with me. We work together. Boom. Ed Ferrara is hired. Bro, Ben, Stevie, we're talking about Fox here. Bro, they probably have access to some of the greatest writers in freaking LA. I mean, some great writers and great talent. And bro, you're going to go with Bruce Prichard? I don't know what changed between now and then, where, Vince went to the network. I need a writer. Bonnie was smart enough to know, well, shoot, I know this writer who also knows wrestling. and loves wrestling. She knew, bro, you got Fox at your fingertips, and you're going to Bruce, and you know what you're gonna get with Bruce. You're gonna get the same shit. Nothing's gonna change about this guy, bro. The guy's a little younger than me. Stevie, you got Fox. You can't go to Fox for help.
Well, it sounds like there was a drastic paradigm shift, because I didn't know that, by the way. That's an interesting story. I didn't know how Ed got the job, or got, sent to WWE in this case. Back then, Vince really did want to hire somebody that was going to do a really good job as a TV writer. How many writers have come in and out that do good but don't do too good, or only write the ideas I have? You basically are copy people. You're not writers. And right now, what level of blocking out the actual good writers, which, by the way, nobody's writing TV shows right now in Hollywood. I'm sure they would love a job with WWE on a steady weekly basis. What is missing, or who's politicking to keep the really good writers and creative people? And I put Ben on the spot, creative improv people, to evolve the business into the next generation moving forward, instead of let's go with what's bad, but what we know, or the politics of blocking out the actual talent, actually very talented people, from getting into the inner circle. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really, I'm thinking about quitting the brand, to be honest with you, because you guys have kept me from an Impact job this week. I thought I had a shot there, and nobody wants to do that. And now I find out that I could have had the opportunity to smash Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science, who I always had a thing for, and you guys have been cock blocking me on that. Now, there's only so much I can take in 1 week, and that's just pretty much it. I don't really hear anything else you said past that. They couldn't understand improv. You'd have to show it to them 1,000 times over. They've got a whole room full of people with Stockholm syndrome, and if they're Hollywood writers, that doesn't impress me much, because that still doesn't know that you know the foundations of wrestling psychology, which a story has to be written around. And unless you've trained it and know it, then you're not going to be able to do it. And that's point proven week in, week out, with scenes that they think are the pinnacle of their performance level and writing level, and they come in at a 40% junior high production rate. And the people who really can produce aren't in the spots to do that. They get 1 or 2 spots to shine, and everything else looks like horse shit compared to the dynasty.
But Ben, that's the problem in a nutshell. And that's why, bro, like I say this all the time, the wrestling business is like no other business. Every other business I've been associated with, guys, you got to remember, I worked at CBS. I worked for CBS. Every other business I've ever been associated with, bro, they hire the best people possible. They want the company to get better. They want the company to grow. They hire the best people possible. Now, guys, I told you, man, when Ed Ferrara came aboard, Ed had these, Ed had a resume that I couldn't touch. As a professional writer, he had a resume, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, this guy could really help the product. I wasn't worried about losing my spot. Ben, if I'm freaking Prichard, I'm just being honest with you. If Vince hired me tomorrow, me, I would say to Vince, I swear to God, this is what I would say to Vince. Vince, I am a 60-year-old man.
Yeah, pal, you look good.
Thank you. Listen, the train is pulled out of the station. I'm not cool. I'm not cool. I'm not hip. I don't have my finger on the pulse like I did the first time around when I was 35. But here's what I'm going to do for you, bro. I'm going to recruit the best people who will be able to do this job for you. That's what and I'm going to take them under my wing, and I'm going to teach them the ropes and show how this is done. And then, bro, here's what I'm doing, Ben. I'm going on the internet, bro. You know how when Steve Perry left, you know how Journey got their new lead singer that's been there longer now than Perry? The guy was the lead singer of a Journey tribute band. They went online and found this guy. Bro, that's what I'm doing if I'm Prichard. I'm hearing a lot of buzz. Bro, they're on the internet, these guys. They're reading every day what people are saying about them. Bro, I'm going on the internet, and here's what I'm hearing. Oh, bro, there's this guy, bin Hamin. Did you hear this guy, bin Hamin, said this? This guy, Stevie Richards, said this. This guy said this. I am looking for the best talent I can. They're out there, bro, on the internet, right here on this show, right here on this brand, and then I'm bringing them in, and now I'm taking them under my wing, and I'm letting them, bro. That will never happen in wrestling. Because everybody is in, I'm protecting my spot. If somebody is better than me, bro, not only will I not take a look at them, I'm going to bury them. I'm going to bury them. I'm going to make them look like the worst type of human being they could possibly be. That's the problem, bro, because that's the wrestling business. Protect your spot. And if somebody is better than you, keep them as far away from this company as you possibly can. And that's why they're in the spot that they're in.
Yeah, I was say, how's that working out for you?
Right.
Pretty good, eh?
Right.
That's the thing. And then there was 10 Little Indians, Agatha Christie, whatever it is you want to assassination, right? 2 in the back of the head, and it was your best friend that did it. And guess what? We're at the end of the line. And who's next in line, and what you're saying, because you don't want to go back on the road. So without saying proteges or the people that I know, but it doesn't have to be like that, because working 2CW with Josh and Steve, or working OVW with Ted McNailer and Adam Revolver, when we're working in a creative team like that, where what I know in the improv style and what they know in the psychology, and then we all punch it up together, they can't do that. Their generation of distrust and being sharks is done with, but they raised a whole group of performers that are ill prepared to be successful on TV because they're not trusted. As Road Dogg apparently said, that there's got to be an inner circle of trust after so much time, because they have been burned by green performers, but that's their fault, putting them on camera and not preparing them, or having character vignettes leading up so we have some stakes. That's all their fault. So it's a vote of no confidence in upper management, in the writing staff to be able to get anything produced and stood up for their own business, and in the performers for even knowing who or what their characters are, where we have Tamina posting, I'm going to do crazy stuff, and then 24 hours later, tweet, apologize, dive, repeat. She's pulling the tweet down off of there because they're throwing any shit at the wall and seeing if it'll stick at this point. Meanwhile, Stephanie says on TV to the PR people, we write our storylines a year out. Yeah, okay. Usually 3 p.m, most of the scripts getting shit canned, and nobody's standing up for their work. So you get what you get at the end of the day. If you were to put us in that triumvirate, or whatever you want to explain it that way, of who it is, I can name 7 people right now, and you could run the entire WWE product with ease, where all stories overlap and everything makes sense, and you start building real characters. But until you clear out those guys to the old folks home, ain't none of that gonna happen. So they're at the end of the rope now, man. They've taken out everybody they can, and there's only a few heads left to blame shit on until there is a big shift in the pendulum of power. Same as American politics or whatever. You're going to swing way far one way until the lunacy, and then it's going to start coming back. And that's what they've done. And now it's going to start coming back. And who's on this other side? I think we're sitting pretty. I'm not sweating it at all. There's an interesting thing. You did the Chicken X show with that guy, Billy. You didn't listen to it then, but it's part of 8 days a week. And he talked about how Road Dogg smartened him up to them paying attention to people like him and the Meltzers or anybody else, or probably listening to podcasts like ours. The carniness and the explanation that only 1.8% of people tweeting accounts for the audience, but they go to the advertisers because it's essentially, just round numbers. One guy tweeting 100 times or 500 times with the false positive. That got them into a lot of trouble too, because you're only doing that to work the advertisers, which once again, with the Saudis and all the other stuff, that bill will come due eventually. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another element to why they're in trouble. They fooled themselves and worked themselves into a shoot, and they work these advertisers, unfortunately,
not into a shoot, that'll come back and the money will show. That was very interesting. You got people should listen to that.
Yeah. Should we stooge like how low it goes, Stevie, or keep that Cold War about the Hamin media discussion group?
You can, I mean,
talking
about who's in the group.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, here's how much it goes. So we have on Facebook, and you should join it if you haven't, new YouTube listeners, Hamin Media Discussion Group on Facebook. It's for high-level wrestling fans only who aren't into some dumb bullshit. And there's real workers in there. We don't tag them from Killer Cross to Road Warrior Animal. And just so happens, 2 weeks ago, in comes the request from Conrad. And not one post, not nothing, no sharing, no nothing. So you know the Cold War tactics sent by Bruce. We see everything. You're not going to deke one, slide one by the goalie here, man. Way too sharp, way too much of a worker, way too much loyalty for people who know that my method is the right method, the trusting method, the uplifting, empowering method, not the go stooge and stab somebody in the back bullshit of wrestling. Because like I said, that's some snake in the grass, last crumbs shit. We're at a 10,000 foot level looking down on you with that. So if he wants to share and be buddy, or try and sell some 15-year mortgages and promote his brand, I got no problem with that. When you come in and then you're just silent, waiting to see what the fucking word is and how many things I'm tagged in, you're not getting by this sniper, man.
I think their mistake too is, and it's a mistake of a lot of people in the bubble, they equate your value as a human being, they equate your intelligence or your street smarts or your business acumen or the whatever positive character trait you have with the level of fake push that you got in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't win any titles, you weren't a main eventer, you didn't draw money, so you don't know shit about anything, which basically is their biggest weakness. It's their blind spot.
Meanwhile, Al Snow's probably one of the greatest minds in wrestling today, and they still try and keep him marginalized, where almost every time he goes on, it's straight knowledge that people should be listening to. But because he was just a guy with a plastic head, he's not as over in their minds, where he could be running that whole thing too. Al Snow could be the top guy to come in and take that spot from Bruce, and it wouldn't be a bad pick, to be honest with you. I mean, I'd be happy to be part of that team. But they're not getting by with these little things, and it further exposes how paranoid and how worried they are that they have to do some espionage shit on a 1,000 person Facebook group because they can't come up with anything on their own. That's what they spend their time on instead of making the product better. Absolutely, that's man. So telling. That's so telling.
I swear, man, it's like, first of all, like I look back on, my rise and like, bro, I don't know how I did not get shit canned, but I was lucky, guys, because and Ben, you will really appreciate this, bro. I got my foot in the door as a magazine writer. I was not on their radar. Okay, they didn't give shit about the magazine. Like I was on nobody's radar. Ben, I have to tell you, Stevie, bro, when I got my foot in Titan Tower, and I started looking at Vince's inner circle, bro, I knew immediately what this was all about. And bro, I don't know, because listen, we're all East Coast guys. Bro, a lot of these guys, Bruce from Texas and Eric from Minnesota, a lot of these guys, bro, being a New York guy and being put in that environment, I saw it immediately.
They're not as sharp. New York just prepares you.
I'm telling you, Ben, I knew within the first 2 weeks, everybody in Vince's inner circle, I knew two things, bro. I swear to God, I knew, I was 100 times percent smarter than them. I knew I was smarter than them. And bro, number two, I knew they were all freaking workers. You could see, bro, you smell a con man a mile away. I recognize those two things immediately, bro. I don't know. Were they too stupid to understand that, like, I was on to the game and maybe that's why they didn't make an effort to get rid of me? I don't know. But, bro, with those players in place, especially the position Bruce was in back then, I don't know how I snuck through. I don't know.
you're not playing Cold War. You only care about making the product better, and that they can't get to you that way. They do in wrestling locker rooms. People create heat in situations just to have the drama behind the scenes, and that'll affect the push that's on TV, but it's really fuck TV. It's about our little clique backstage and our middle school lunchroom. That's the feeling they want to keep creating, but at an adult level, when you're dealing with guys on pills, gas, and or fucking musclehead testosterone dudes, they want to see who they can wind up. That's the fun of it. So when you're not participating and choosing sides and doing that stuff, they leave you alone and you can go through and do it. If you were to even start to participate in the Cold War, we got him. We got him, bro. Now he's in.
Ben, do you know how dead on you are, bro? I remember
play it all the time. I play all the time.
He plays him. You and I just want to do our jobs. Let him play his game.
You know what used to piss Bischoff off about me more than anything, and bro, I could see it on his face on the spot. This is why Eric freaking hates me. You know what used to piss him off more than anything, Stevie? All this shit would be going on. I'm from freaking New York, guys. Stop with your bullshit. You're not getting over on me. No. And I would look at Bischoff, and this is what I would say, Ben. Eric, all I care about is writing the best show possible. That's what I'm getting paid to do. That's all I care about. I don't care about Stevie. When I would say that to him, I could see in his face how much that remark would eat away at him. And I'm like, bro, that's all I want to do. I don't want to play your effing game. I want to write the show. Bro, Ben, he would physically, I could see it in him. That's why the guy hates me to this day.
Nobody wants to be called on their shit, and especially when they're trying to rack it up to get to you, and you turn and just be like, stop, because you haven't said what it is. You're calling out their behavior, and there's nothing a middle school child hates more than that, being put on the spot. And like, now you're not playing, and they want to take their ball and go, and they hate you because you called them on their shortcomings as a human being instead of what's really important, a team effort to make a great product, to make more money so everybody's happy. Instead, all that other stuff is way more important and has been for the last 30 to 40 years. And this is what it reaps.
Well, let's compare, because a very early thing with you and Bruce, same thing as Bischoff, but this was trying to derail you. This is actually a one-to-one analogy with the story about you going to Impact. It's a very leading, assuming thing. And this is what gets the entire creative process, the performance process, and everything sidetracked. This little simple thing. Remember when Bruce came up to you early on and said someone had said something about you? Yep. Tell that story, because normally for most wrestlers or people in the office, people in the bubble, it sets off a chain of events that completely screws everything up.
There are two stories. I'm going to tell you two stories. I don't know if you guys know them both. I'm going to tell you two stories. And guys, this paints the picture of what you're dealing with and what type of individuals are at that level. Bro, the Bruce story was real simple. I was, Bruce wanted, JJ went to WCW. Bruce wanted the talent relations job. Bruce got the talent relations job. Bro, I don't know what happened, but Bruce lasted in that job a shorter amount of time than Bischoff's last run at the WWE. So now, bro, Bruce is on the outside looking in. I took his place as the writer. It was me and Vince now, because Bruce wanted to move up the ladder. Bro, I'll never forget. You guys would have cracked up his corner office, and he brought his wife in to do what is it called? The feng shui, where everything's got to be facing. So I swear to God, bro, the fact that he had a corner office next to Vince, holy shit. So, bro, all of a sudden, he's out of talent relations. He's on the outside looking in. Now, bro, he starts the games. And one of the things, bro, he tells me that this woman in creative services, she headed creative services. It was the department right next to publications. I worked very closely with the woman. He gets a hold of me and he goes, Vince, everybody's telling me that they can't work with you. They can't get along with you. Bro, Ben, it was so far out there, because that's not who I am. Bro, especially, Well,
You probably cock blocked them from Kelly LeBrock too, and that's why you got heat with them all. That's the
but
problem.
bro, I had just been put in that position. I was still like the dough, like, you know, I'm like, Bruce, bro, I was like, Bruce, like that can't be. Like, there's no way. Bruce didn't know I was going to go directly to the woman. And I went to her and I said, bro, I'll tell you, her name was Debbie Bonanzio. I said, Debbie, if I was rude to you in any way, if I was out of line, if I said something, and she looked at me like with three heads. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you know, Debbie, Bruce told me that, you know, maybe I said something, you know, it's Vince. I never had a conversation with Bruce about you ever.
And that's how you got to heat with Bruce, because of his lie that you went and followed through. And then you mentioned, why'd you stooge my name off? All these weird things in the wrestling bubble that get people heat.
Bro, let me tell you.
That's how it starts. That's week 1. Now imagine 16 weeks of worse and worse tests.
Listen to this. Listen to this Eric story. This is when I realized this guy's a freaking master. I don't know if you guys ever heard this story, but this is where my relationship with Eric came to an end. This is where it was like, F you, you piece of crap. I can't work with this guy. Bro, I wanted to, before Bret Hart went back to the WWE, I wanted to bring him into TNA. Okay. Jeremy Borash, for some reason, had a really strange relationship. JB and Bret were friends. I don't even know how they became friends. Okay. So JB hooked me up with Bret. I got on the phone with Bret. I wanted to bring Bret in as a figurehead. Bro, he had not gone back to WWE at that point. Okay. So I wanted to bring him in as a figurehead. I talked to Bret personally on the phone. He was on board, bro. He was on board. Okay. I went to Dixie. Bro, you know, I knew Dixie would be doing flips. It's Bret Hart. Okay. Bro, next person I tell, Eric Bischoff. Okay. Eric puts the idea over. I love it. It's a great idea. We'll get good pub, good PR. You know, he hasn't been on WWE, whatever. Eric's on board. Okay. Well, what's the next thing that happens, bro? Eric tells Hogan. Of course, Dixie had given Hogan creative control. Okay. So Hogan, at the time, bro, there was some kind of a little internet war going on where Bret might have said something about Linda. I don't know. Hogan says flat out, I will not work with Bret Hart. He plays the creative control card. Okay. So now, bro, Dixie is upset with Hulk because Dixie really wanted to bring Bret into the company. Okay. So now, bro, Eric sees, holy shit, the money mark is now upset with Hulk, and I'm on Hulk's coattails. I've got to fix this. So, bro, what does Eric do? He does a 180 and now flips on Bret, starts burying Bret to Dixie, telling Dixie all the reasons Bret should not come to the WWE. So, Ben, I sit there, okay, and bro, I said to Eric, I said, you know, Eric, I think a lot about Bret Hart. I have all the respect in the world for Bret Hart. I said, bro, you're full of shit. And I'm not going to sit here and let you freaking bury Bret Hart when he's not here to defend himself. Just say what it is. Hulk's playing his creative control card. He doesn't want Bret in the company. Just effing say it, bro. I'm not going to sit here and let you bury Bret. It's not going to happen, bro. So just stop your bullshit. Say Hulk doesn't want him in the company and let's end this. Okay? Bro, this turned into such a big to-do. We had to have a meeting where it was me, Eric, Dixie, lawyers are now in this meeting. Okay, bro? Like, because me and Eric were like, done. I swear to God, bro, I never even saw Bruce do this. We're in the meeting and I called him out, bro, in front of Dixie, in front of the lawyer. And I'm like, Eric, you're full of shit. Okay, bro, you don't want Dixie's relationship with Hulk to sour. So now you're burying Brett when it's all about Hulk's creative control card. And I said, bro, I don't have an issue with that. Dixie gave him a creative control card. If the guy wants to play it, that's not Hulk's fault. That's Dixie's fault. But just say it. Just freaking say it. Bro, I had him in a corner now. Like there was nowhere for him to go because I was telling 100%. Bro, I swear to you, this is where me and Eric were over.
Yeah.
He took his seat and turned it towards Dixie. Okay? He's sitting right across from Dixie now. Bro, he starts reeling off to Dixie every conversation, every confidential conversation I had with him about her. Dixie, do you know Vince said this? Do you know Vince said that? Bro, he completely took Dixie's focus and she put her focus on me. Completely. She turned her chair to me, bro. The Bret Hulk discussion was over. And thank God, everything I had ever said to Eric about Dixie, bro, I had said to Dixie. I had said to Dixie, I think I don't agree with the way you're doing this. I had told her as an employee. So I had nothing to hide. I was like, yeah, Eric, I did say, but Dixie and I had that same conversation. But bro, when I got the guy backed in the corner, he went down to the dirtiest. I mean, the conversation, and bro, the conversations we had, I was trying to smarten him up about her because they thought they were going to go in there and run rampant. I tried smartening him up. And bro, he turned everything I had ever discussed with him about Dixie. He told her right in front of me. And I sat there and I said, yes, Dixie, I did say that. You and I discussed that. Remember? Bro, you know what Eric's story is today about that meeting? You know what he tells everybody? You know what he tells everybody? Right? Bro? Yeah, he made me cry in that meeting. That's what he tells. Like I'm like, bro, are you out of your fucking mind? He wants to believe. See, Eric wants people to believe I made a New Yorker cry. Like, bro, that was so far from the truth. It wasn't. But that's how these guys work, Ben. And
that's his nuclear bomb to drop. That's why you play Cold War, and he's sitting on these things thinking, if I got to expose these cards, you just see them get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as humans. And for a karate man, that's a pretty bitch move. Like to have to call in lawyers and, like that's some Napoleon shit. I'm tough as nails, but really you're not, because you got to turn and do the little girl-to-girl stooge. Did you hear what Sarah said about you on the playground? And then, well
it takes two, though. It takes two. What's it say about Dixie, who, by the way, likes and comments on my stuff? Thank you for doing that, Dixie, on Facebook.
2 a.m. likes.
It was actually. That's so far off. But no, here's a shiny thing. Look at this thing here. And she does it. She sells for it. So what's that? I mean, I feel bad. That's Vince, even if he is in a Joe Biden state of mind these days, Vince would probably turn around and said, yeah, that's good, but we have lawyers here. We need to stay focused.
Exactly. That's why he would have never, ever fell for that, bro.
But it's the misdirection spot is the fact that he doesn't want to be exposed as the puppet mastermind where him and Hogan are texting like little girls. So Hogan flexes his creative control and star power to get done what Bischoff wants to do, because they're colluding again over some bullshit locker room stuff that really, if we're really talking about making massive moments, Hogan Bret Hart is a huge draw. Yep. And if you really want to go why this heat and all this shit started, maybe back in the Carney days, who even knows? It's because promoters wanted their shit to look real. So they will wind these fucking guys up who aren't really that stable to start with. And then when they go out to do the work in the ring, if they really do hate each other, you're going to get that much more of a match that's better than what it was. So at the cost of these guys' mental acuities, the promoters, who are scumbags, who want to make more money always, that's the definition of it in Webster's dictionary, that trickled into this. And now 50 years later, it's not about what goes on in the ring between Brett and Hulk to make the most money. It's about, let's ratchet it up till we get to the point of I get to cut this guy's throat in front of lawyers and we'll really expose each other like little kids backstage, instead of top box office draw, top names, moment in history. And that's why they got to go. That because their behavior echoes all of that, instead of doing the right business. If you want Hogan and Brett to hate each other on some bullshit and you're going to do it as a work shoot, I'm all for it. Yep. But let's make some money off of it. But that's not what you do. You expose yourself as a small, weak individual. And now with the Sonny Ono stuff, all that, why do people as they get older change their habits? Is it easier to make a 70-year-old change? They really have a coming to Jesus moment of like, you know what? I was a shitbag for 50 years. I'm going to change my ways. No, they usually double and triple down on who they are and go for it. And this is what we're seeing in the final days of all of these guys.
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, it's real funny, bro, because I read the headline and, Eric says, how horrible and miserable it was to work with Vince Russo and this, that, and the other thing. Well, bro, first of all, I mean, now let's just look at it on the surface. Let's make it real simple for everybody. I've never been fired from a wrestling job, ever. Never. No company I ever worked for was I ever fired. I left the WWE. I left WCW and I left TNA. I've never been fired. Okay. Mm-hmm. Eric fired from the WWE twice, fired from WCW. His relationship with TNA ended in a freaking lawsuit. And I'm the one that was horrible to work with. Me, I was the one, bro, that never got fired by any employer. I was the one horrible to work with. Bro, 3 firings and a freaking lawsuit. Seriously, I mean, bro, if people can't see through that shit, they're ignorant, man. They're just ignorant.
Is he in his 2-bedroom apartment in Stanford stewing over shit? Or is he back in Wyoming out on the ranch being peaceful because he got worked out of that? And I can see how that would break a man. And if all you got left is crumbs, and there's another Stooge report that we don't ever talk about because we're bigger men than that, knowing what kind of situation he really was in. And if this is what he's got to do at the end of the day to go back 20 years, we've addressed it today. There's no reason for us to kick in the door anymore on this because we're going to skyrocket right past all that stuff, man.
Well, again, Stevie and Ben, bro, we've been saying it. We've been saying the only way this will change is if there is a clean sweep of the freaking old guard. And bro, and then there was one. That's it. There's one left. So how long do we ride this horse, and how far down do we go? That's the question.
I thought, can we make the horse head of creative? How long till that though? We got a horse. Who's this on the phone? John Big Gubrick? Nah, fave that call.
What happened to John Gaborg? What happened?
He's angling right now.
I was about to say, who do you think is next? Who do you think is next before it comes down to us?
No, I thought he rode off into the sunset.
Well, he effed up, but never say never. I'm sure if there's somebody burying on the way out, it'll be Deuce burying you. So John gets the spot to one more hurdle, and that won't last long at all. You know what I mean? So they just want to keep bruise touching instead of pulling the Band-Aid off quick, man. That's it.
Yeah. Stevie, tell everybody on Twitch and tell everybody on YouTube, man, about Stevie Richards Fitness, bro.
Well, Stevie Richards Fitness, you're laughing like, is it a joke? It's not a parody site.
I just saw Get a Mac.
Oh, you just saw it? Wow, thanks for looking at my video.
All right, go ahead, Stevie.
Stevie Richards Fitness. We have the 12 and 16-week resistance band training programs. Also, if you are in the market for any home gym equipment that's a little bit larger than a resistance band, go to Force USA, enter the code Stevie5. We have a couple more pieces of equipment that I have to assembled today. So those videos will be coming to the YouTube channel. We are crawling ever so closely to 60,000 subscribers. So thank you to everybody for doing that as well.
Yeah. Ben Hamin Media, bro. What is
going creative?
Mr. Unhireable. What's happening?
The unhirables. We're going to be like the untouchables. I'm going to be Belly at Hess, and you can pick but I want to say shout out to 242 people watching live on Russo brand on YouTube. Stevie cool. and Jeff are really trying to push forward and make sure that we're getting exclusive content like this, kind of sending up the signal flare to be like, hey, the sheets are hot right now, and they're mentioning our names. And sometimes we got to sweep the leg, Johnny, on people, and we're not going to wait around to do it to let them get their punches in and make money off of our backs and our hard work and our integrity. So we'll keep exposing it, and we expose the truth over on my platform, hackerhamin.podbean.com. Hacker Hamin's on your iTunes. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, Ben Hamin, search there. And
monetized.
Yeah, remonetized this week.
All right. Hold on. I got to hit my plus. Hold on. Man, you know, every time I hit my RodeCaster, Stevie's got the look on his face like he's a proud papa.
He is, man. He is.
Oh, you're hitting the fade and everything like a real like Pro Tools, man.
Fade out. Go ahead.
What happened? Yeah, man. We're about to approach 2 million downloads. So I want to thank all the crossover Russo brand subscribers. I also know that people are seeing us on YouTube more here on your channel. And they're asking, they're like, hey, I love this camaraderie. I like this idiot shooting his mouth off with the beard and that steely-eyed son of a bitch who doesn't age. Go over to Russo's brand and subscribe. 75 cents a week, guys. We're doing the Raw and SmackDown review there with plenty of great talk, and also the Patreon at Russo TWC for the Master Shoot Theater, which people said this week was their top 5. So I think this next week, life is stranger than fiction. Life is stranger than fiction. So you can always go to prowrestlingtees.com/Ben Hamin. If you're new to hearing us, go to at @Ben_Hamin or at Hamin Media Group on Instagram. And we got plenty of stuff going on. All free media, free independent media from a bunch of producers who love wrestling, who love conspiracy theory, Star Wars. We got it all going on over there, you guys. So appreciate you.
Hey, Stevie, somebody on Twitch, Mr. Shoebox, was asking me, when are the heavy bands going to be back in stock, bro?
Power bands are coming back next week, I believe. So just stay tuned. You can email me directly, StevieRichardsFitness@gmail.com, and I can give you an update. I usually star those emails or like save them as important, and I'll get back to people as soon as I can. So it's a great problem to have. It's that's the positive thing about these uncertain times and what's going on. People are taking control of what they can control. There's not a whole lot left anymore, but starting a home gym, buying the bands, getting a program, keeping yourself healthy and strong and resilient to everything going on around you is really, really important. So if anything can be inspiring in what doesn't seem very inspiring these days, that's one thing.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That is it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, everybody, on twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live, and everybody on YouTube, for myself and Stevie Getamac Richards and the unhire. That's going to be your new mantra, bro. The unhireable.
I think it should be a new show on the brand. The unhirables.
The unhirables. Yeah, bro. Bro, here's the concept of the show. The unhirables say everything that's right, but nobody will hire them.
That's it. Well, it's me. It's the OD crew.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. We will see you tomorrow. Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Japanese.